Good morning. My name is Chris Orsini, and I am so excited to have Cole Dauito here. Cole, how you doing?
Fantastic, sir. How are you?
Good. So tell everyone about yourself.
Name's Cole Dauito. I have my own owner and operator of the Dauito Group located in Boca Raton, east coast of Florida. Um, been in the business for about 5 years, best decision of my life, and love what I do.
Awesome. And that's the Boca East Market Center, right?
Correct. Boca East.
Awesome. How long have you been in real estate?
Just over 5 years. Been with Keller Williams. It's going to be a year in June. Wish I would have been here years ago, but at least we're here, and it has completely changed my life and my business.
Awesome. Yeah, better late than never, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. So we became acquainted a little less than a year ago. And you had some really cool ideas that you threw my way that we implemented. What were around open houses? So what were some of those ideas?
So obviously, open houses we know is one of the great ways to lead gen in the sense of prospective sellers or buyers. I wanted to figure out a more systematic system and way of actually capturing the information of the people that came to the open houses and increase the presence of the people coming to the open houses. Um, we've had major success with all of our open houses. One in particular, we drove 75 people to
Whoa.
the open house in a 3 hour window. And out of those 75, it turned into five opportunities.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was the problem that you were seeing when you approached me with your ideas?
Biggest problem was, you know how open houses go. You get those waves of people or those rush, so to speak. Can never be in five places at once. So I wanted to come up with a systematic way of, instead of trying to get someone to sign in on a sign in sheet with a pen, how can we streamline this process so it's more effective and we're actually gathering correct information for each particular client? That's when I reached out to you, and took advantage of the technology side of things. So with your assistance, we did create a actual login page that's connected directly to my website. With that login page, as people would enter the open house, I would have them register through the actual platform that was built out with name, email address, phone number, and if they were working with an agent or not. And from there, we built out an actual smart plan that dripped on that client. The biggest thing that I think was most impactful was they immediately got a text and an email. So if it was either myself or an associate of mine, we were asking them, okay, as soon as you register, you're going to get a text and an email with a link to the particular listing you're at here today. What that did was first confirm they give us the correct information. And secondly, open that door for communication after they've left the open house. There was a systematic process to that. So they get their initial email and text message. After that sent out the following day, we would have a simple verbiage of, it was great seeing you and meeting you at our open house. What did you like? What did you not like? Try to get the client to be more engaged and provide value to them. From that point, we got surprisingly lots of responses, hence why we've continued using this program. Um, on that third transition within the smart plan itself, then there was another email and text that went out asking them, hey, how soon are you looking to move? What is your game plan? How can we at the Diudo Group be of assistance to make sure that we're following your timeline and getting you into the best home that's currently available on the market today?
That's awesome. So it's you're touching them 3 times in that smart plan, correct?
Yes.
So it's
So first
the
touch
yeah.
is on the first day immediately via text and email. Following day, so if we had the open house on a Sunday, that Monday, they would then get another email with a link to our website, asking them what they liked, what they didn't like, getting them engaged in the property itself, which helped me provide feedback to the seller and also gauge what their interest was as a particular buyer. If we didn't get a response from them on that, then 3 days after the open house, they'd also get another email and text. And that's when we went a little deeper in asking them what's their plan, how soon are they looking to move, and how can we be of assistance and help.
So you said you've got out of the open house of 75 people, you got 5 new opportunities. Um, Out of that 75, how many people responded to either the text or emails?
Our response rate on that was just over 40%, um,
Whoa.
which was I was surprised by. I thought it'd be a little lower. I
Mhm.
would say 15% of those responded back saying, we have an agent, which we all know in this business that some people will say they have an agent after the fact and so forth. It's the process of correctly following up, asking the right questions to actually dig deep on whether or not there is an agent involved. Um, but from those opportunities itself, it didn't just stop with the open house sign in page that we built out. My signs that I put out are almost twice the size of a standard open house sign, and we put out a lot of them. So we're
Mhm.
really driving the traffic to the property itself. A week prior to the open house, we do launch a social media campaign where we're advertising through Facebook, through Instagram, even LinkedIn, for
Mhm.
local people within the area to drive them to the open house. From that point, we obviously get there much earlier than when the open house starts because myself and associates were door knocking 15 houses to the right, 15 houses to the left, and 25 across the street. We want
Wow.
those nosy neighbors to come because that's a potential listing
Mhm.
and a potential have not met that we can turn into a met that could potentially be business down the line. And with doing so, that did actually lead to a listing, from the sale of that property during that open house.
Nice. So I'm hearing you put massive effort and massive urgency on the lead generation side of this open house, right? The door
Correct.
knocking, the campaigns, and then you don't just stop there. You then understand that the fortune's in the follow-up and
Yes.
then put massive urgency on the follow-up. So much so that they're receiving a text message and an email as soon as they sign in.
Correct. And a big thing with that was, beginning of my career open houses, we were doing standard sign-in sheets. And
Mhm.
I would say half the time people were putting an incorrect email or an incorrect phone number. And this is a way to help them, to help us, I should say, confirm
Mhm.
that we're getting that correct information. And it's a simple ask of, hey, if you don't mind, once you sign in, check your phone, make sure that you got the email and the text message, as we want to make sure that you have the specific listing. Because if this isn't the only open house you're going to today, we want to make sure that you can easily reference back, look at the professional photography and walkthrough video that will be attached just to help, um, you to remember what you saw today, what you liked, what you didn't like, etc.
Hmm. Awesome. Now, do you mind if I screen share and share the sign-in sheet?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, awesome. So, yes, continue. There we go. Here we go. Are you seeing my screen here?
Yep, it's loading up now.
Awesome. So, this is your agent site here,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Is
the
that your
standard one that was provided by Keller, which I think is
Mhm.
great. You still have the IDX platform where potential customers are still able to search. And then right there in the drop down, so we just have an iPad with cellular data on it, and we're able to just open it up, click on that open house sign in link, and then right there it gives the information that's required to be entered. And then as soon as it's entered, it goes into our command with an open house tag.
And then just submit another response. What I love that you did also was you're also doing events and you created the same thing for specifically for events, which I
Correct.
think is really cool. It's same concept, but used for a different application.
Yep. And
So
again,
let's
we
start with
always
that.
want to be in that form of lead generation. And for example, I do car shows once a month. I use that event login page. I'm doing something I enjoy, but at the same time, I'm still networking myself and I'm able to gather information from prospective buyers or sellers on a consistent basis.
Yep. It's awesome. So how did we make this work, Cole?
With your expertise and your tech genius brain, that's, in my opinion, how we did make it work. But if we go back to specifically the open house, the opportunities that were created from that, I would say the three main drivers of that were the social media and giving you time. You can't just do it the day before. You've got to really give it some time, at least a week, to advertise that so as many people can see it as possible. Sending it out to agents, sending it out all over social media, letting everyone in your market center know. The signage is huge. Having those larger signs that actually attract people as they're driving around to drive them to the actual property, and the door knocking within the neighborhood. So, and that's
Do you also run Facebook ads
we
for the
have
open
we're
houses?
getting into Facebook ads. My social media strategist is um, still testing with Command. Obviously, we know that it's not a for sure system. What I mean by that is how we specifically do our targeted ads. That's where we're making our adjustments. But yes, we are starting to heavily get involved with Facebook ads directly through Command
For open houses?
for open houses. And then we advertise any new listings that we have coming to market.
Mhm.
Um, and any other benefits that we can offer. Hometown Heroes, for example, is something that we're advertising as well, specifically to the state of Florida, a lending program that gives assistance towards down payment and closing
Mhm.
costs.
Have you seen people show up to your open house specifically because they saw the Facebook ad?
I have. It hasn't picked up. I'm sure it will with the consistency and the way those algorithms work. Um, but people have also mentioned, oh, we've seen your signs before. So I think that has a big play in it as well.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I see some questions rolling in on the chat. Brandon Long asked, "Does this form change for every open house?"
So we don't change it for every specific open house, Brandon. We have all of our, that's the beauty of using our agent website. All of my listings, I make sure are right on that landing page. So once they do register, they go directly to the Dauito Group website. They're able to see the listing that they went to, but then they're also able to view other listings that the group has. And our main focus is to try to keep them continuing to search through our website and keep them on that platform.
Yeah. So, and then Brett said here, since that sign in is a static form, do you immediately tag the contacts with a specific tag for that open house?
So we, for that data itself, we're measuring it by the specific day and property we're doing the open house. So it's more legwork on the back end. But if we have an open house coming up this weekend on Sunday or Saturday, we know that, okay, anyone that registered on that specific day between those specific hours are for this specific property. And our follow up is pretty immediate. We don't, we, it's very rare anyone is not receiving a phone call within 24 hours, even after they've registered at the open house. So then we're able to properly tag those people with the notes to categorize and organize of this is the open house that we met that particular client at.
Mm. Now, so with the way we've set this up, someone asked, um, they asked how we can add the form to our own website, and just to kind of walk you through the workflow of how this is set up, um, is it's a Google form, so it's something that we get for free. Well, everyone gets for free, but we can access it through our KW logins, forms.google.com. And that form is then embedded on a page on a website. So I know this is getting kind of, a little, master's degree version of this, but so you create the form, they'll give you an embed code, you embed it on the site, and then we use Zapier to take the form data and send it to command. With Zapier, it gives you the ability to tag that contact. And we've just set it up to tag it as open house lead, I think. Isn't that?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Um, and then open house lead, the tag open house lead is now a tag trigger for an open house follow up smart plan. And when Cole does an open house, if he wants to add anything specific in the follow up on that particular property or that particular open house, he has to change is the smart plan until he goes and does another open house.
And
Correct?
to quickly comment on that, Chris, for properties that we have priced accordingly, maybe even sometimes a little under market, knowing we're going to drive a ton of interest, I have adjusted that smart plan prior to say to send a reminder out if there is any interest in this home, seller will be deciding
Mm,
by if it's on a Saturday, Monday by 5 p.m. to try to create that urgency.
yep. So Ryan had it was popped up for a second and then came down because I decided to answer a different question. But Ryan asked how you got 75 people to your open house. Um, so what I heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, and then you can adjust it, is
Of
you get
course.
big signs
Yep.
and tons of them. You door knock 15 open houses to the left and 15 to the right, and then 25 across the street,
Correct.
and then you blast it on social media.
Correct.
Was there anything that I forgot?
No, and I mean, obviously, for this particular property, we had 75 people come to. It was priced accordingly. What I mean by that is the seller did want to drive a ton of interest. The only showings occurred during the open house. So you can imagine us going live on a Friday, active, but not being able to show the property till the following Saturday.
Mm,
That week of social media campaigns of letting everyone know about the open house, but also agents and potential customers seeing that property active on the MLS. Everyone, the urgency to get there. I was getting calls for people trying to get in prior to the open house, cash buyer, no inspection period, so forth. So you really created that buyer urgency,
mm.
which just drove a ton of traffic to the property.
So you bottlenecked it a little bit and then open it up to get
Correct.
all that urgency. Um, Someone asked, have the number of attendees changed in the recent months?
I would say as soon as interest rates came down a little, we did see an uptick in more attendees at open houses. I do find that, at least from my sphere and my client base or customer base, that whole interest rate conversation has become a norm.
Mhm.
No matter what, we all need a place to live. Um, I think if I were to say there's been a lower attendance rate at other open houses versus this one at 75, a lot of it had to do with the property type itself. There was only one other listing active within that specific community, A-rated school zone. It was a lakefront home with a pool. So obviously the home had a lot of attraction to it.
Mhm.
It wasn't a fixer-upper one-bedroom condo that, you know, no one had. It wasn't an investor interest only. This was a beautiful home that was in a highly sought after area,
Mm.
and that drove a ton of the interest to the property.
And then is that the same area that you got another listing off of the open
Correct.
house?
Yep.
All right, so now it's turning into a farm.
Yep.
So Brett asked, what smart plan was it that you used
We
for the open house?
created the
Yeah.
specific smart plan based on how we built out the form. So once we built out the form, I then put together what I exactly wanted to be said via text and email, and we just built out the smart plan. It wasn't one that was already embedded into command.
Hmm. And it's like a big old like 2-pager HTML email with a bunch of pictures and shenanigans all over it, right?
Say that again?
So I'm being kind of facetious, but it's
Okay.
it's a big giant like 2-page HTML email with tons of pictures
No,
and graphics and links and
not at
everything,
all.
right?
Very, very simple, right to the point. You know, we all know that people don't want to read a huge paragraph. Everyone wants to watch videos. It's a simple, you know, it was great meeting you and seeing you at the open house. Here's a link to our website so you can view the listing again and other listings that the Dauito group has.
Just 2 sentences, 2, 3
Yeah,
sentences
it's
maybe.
simple.
Yeah, I love it. Um, so let me see what other questions are in the chat. It was someone got beyond me. No, that's all of them. So
And then if you'd like, I mean, I'm more than happy to even Chris, if you can assist me with this, we can share the smart plan
yeah,
and exactly how we built it out and what verbiage is being used to anyone that's on the call today so that they can implement it in their own business.
yeah, what we can do is go in and like create a copy that's got merge fields in it because we didn't build yours with merge fields. So
Yeah.
we make a copy with merge fields so it doesn't say Cole Dauito everywhere.
Yep.
And then yeah, we can put that up on um the library for sure.
All right, perfect.
So before we go, and feel free to drop some more questions in the chat if you'd like. But uh, before you go, I do want to just reiterate the workflow of how we built this, because it was a little complicated. So you need 3 things: you need your command agent site, you need a Zapier account, and you need a Google form. So you create that Google form with whatever questions you want, and then you create a Zapier account, and in the the trigger is going to be a new form submission on that Google form, and then it's going to create a contacting command, and you'll choose whatever tag you want. We used open house lead, and then we created this smart plan with the tag trigger of open house lead, so that when that lead comes in, they immediately get um, that text message and email welcoming them so you can confirm it's correct. So,
If anyone has any questions, I am 24/7, especially to our Keller Williams agents. So feel free to contact me via cell, via email, with any other more in depth, detailed questions you may have or scenarios. And I'm here to help however I can.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cole.